What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Groove Drives. Today we're going for a drive in this 2024 Maserati Grecale GT. This vehicle is powered by a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with a mild hybrid with 296 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque, made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and it can do 0 to 60 in roughly 5.3 seconds. So this is basically Maserati's entry-level SUV, set to compete with like the Porsche Macan, BMW X1, etc. And the Maserati Levante was the Maserati's first SUV, and then came this, a 4-cylinder from Maserati. This is my first time driving the Grecale, so I'm interested to see how it drives. And you know, ones like this, or if you want a Maserati, you know, if you're a fan of the brand and you want to get one in an affordable price point, this is an example. This is a 24 pre-owned one in like the low $40,000 price range, right? So, you know, if that's something you like, this would be a great car. You have this new screen setup from Maserati, this new version of Uconnect. Looks alright, but definitely is a big improvement over the screen before, which was like wrapped around in like plastic in a lot of Maseratis. I do like this digital clock, and I like the start-stop button on the steering wheel and the metal shift paddles. Those are always really nice on Maseratis. And then you have the drive mode selector, sport, comfort, and GT modes. Let's see how this 4-cylinder sounds. You have a Sonus Faber Artisan of Sound system. Not really familiar with that brand. Little storage spot. You can put your phone there. It's not a wireless charger, but I think this thing here is with a Maserati Trident on it. But that's a weird spot for a wireless charger. This feels like synthetic leather. It's not really that comfortable. You have the Maserati logo on the headrest. It has like it doesn't feel like Alcantara. It kind of feels like, it doesn't feel like Alcantara. It feels kind of like cotton. The roof. Interesting material. And yeah, all the Maserati headrests have a Maserati logo in them. Well, let's walk around this Grecale and see what it looks like. You have a gray exterior on this one, and it has electronic doors, as you can see. GT badge on the side. You have Maserati brake calipers, silver wheels on this one. This is like the entry-level trim. I think the Modena is the one above this. Typical Maserati grille. LED daytime running lights. Here are the rear seats. And you have Maserati over here too. Also very typical Maserati design there. Quad outlet exhaust. Here's the trunk. But to be honest, this is like the, you know, this is, as Doug DeMuro said in one of his videos when the Levante came out, this is the end of Maserati as we know it. It's very interesting because, you know, Maserati used to be a brand, you know, which was like an aspiration, you know, to get the Gran Turismo, or when the MC12 came out, things like that. $100,000 vehicle, $150,000 to $200,000 vehicles, like exotics, and then now you can get a Maserati for like 40 grand, and you can get like older Ghiblis for like 20, 30. So yeah, Maserati's just not quite the brand it was. It's honestly up to, you know, a different person's perception on whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, that it's just a brand that you can just go lease a car at now for special leases, or get like a cheap one just for the Trident, you know. Again, that's obviously very subjective. It's up to you to decide if you think that's a good thing or bad thing, that Maserati went from being a brand that you'd aspire to own one day as a kid to just being something that's super mainstream, right? But anyways, let's see how this car drives. Reverse camera. I'm not a fan of that at all. I hate how cars have button shifters like that. It's so unnecessary. Just give us a real lever. because this is, I don't like this at all. I'd rather have like a dial or something if you're gonna go that way, because you have to keep pressing a button. It's very unnecessary. Yeah, comfort wise, seats are not very comfortable with the synthetic leather. So far, visibility seems decent. I can see out of the mirrors pretty well and the side views. It is a crossover, so that should be expected. But let's see how it drives now. You also have a flat bottom wheel. It's actually pretty quick. I mean, for a 4-cylinder, it sounds pretty good. Maserati has always known how to make all their cars sound good in some way, shape, or form. It's impressive how in the Ghibli and Levante, with the V6, they make it sound so good, right? And I like their exhausts are always really good, and their shift paddles are also really, really good. Yeah, I mean, car's quick. It's definitely quick. And the steering feels good too. Ride feels pretty smooth, even in the sport mode, which is good. Man, nice steering. Yeah, the steering feels good. I am pretty impressed with that. But yeah, I'm not very impressed with the materials in here either. It feels honestly overall very, very cheap in here. And this one probably had like an MSRP in the 70s or something like that, considering it's a Maserati. They take a huge depreciation hit, right? Materials are not good. You know, all the German cars on this from the which compete with this are way better. Even Japanese cars, honestly, even a Kia has a much better interior feel than this to me. Like, I'm not impressed with this interior at all. It's very, very disappointing. That's been typical of Maseratis for a long time now, unless if you get like a really high trim level, like a GTS or Trofeo will have a better trim or interior feel, right? But you know, this, a lot of plastic in here, a lot of plastic. The dash is plastic, the seats are really rough, I mean stiff, plastic on the doors. It does not feel like a luxury interior, I do have to say that. And all the buttons are, I mean, this is basically what Maserati has become. I shouldn't sound surprised, but I am still surprised. It just feels so cheap. I was expecting a little bit higher quality, considering it's like a new, you know, interior style for Maserati and everything, but nothing really has changed in terms of build quality. Everything just feels very subpar. The only high quality feeling in this car is this metal shift paddles. That's it. That's honestly it. I definitely need to drive like a higher trim level of this Grecale, see if that makes a difference in terms of the materials and everything, and if the seats are more comfortable. And I really need to drive the new Gran Turismo as well. But yeah, it's just Maserati just really isn't the brand it once was at all. It's not even close. And the Maserati Grecale is a clear example of that. Like, I personally would take any German brand over this. Or, honestly, this would be at the bottom of my shopping list, personally. If I was looking at a luxury brand crossover, I would take a German car any day. especially at the price point of a new one. Don't even get me started on that. But on the used market, again, as I mentioned, if you like the Maserati name, you could get a used one for a very affordable price, for the same price of a non-luxury brand vehicle, right? And it is fun to drive, right? But if you're able to, you know, if you really are a fan of Maserati, this would be a great car at that price point. But overall, here are my final thoughts on this vehicle. Good driving SUV, very, very poor interior quality, very, very disappointing. I'm not the biggest fan of the design either. Overall, this is just this car is proof that Maserati's not the brand it once was. It has gone from a brand that's, you know, was something that you put a poster on your wall to now just being something super mainstream. And yeah, I'm not impressed at all with this vehicle. But thanks for watching another video of Driv Drives. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.